Okay, it's PanDaz again. I actually didn't really jump into this next recording. I ate some dinner and I watched some YouTube while I ate dinner, so I might sound a little more sleepy. It's because I'm fighting off some food coma right now. Without further ado, we're just gonna jump into some commentary here. I am working on the roof, so looking at some of the concept art and uh, just images of the Millennium Falcon, there's some risen parts to it. Mostly the um, ship is very flat, or it's kind of, how else can I say, like slopish, I think, but mostly flat. So I decided that I was going to keep it kind of simple. I have the risen parts on as part of the roofs. They're not rounded, but this is about as close as it gets to round pieces. And it doesn't look great. So I'm trying to think if I might fix this or not, but I worked hard on putting patches down because we don't have rooftops or even wallpaper that has like the amount of detail that the Millennium Falcon does. The Millennium Falcon has a lot of bolts and pieces and patches that you can't recreate. So here I'm just using like a metal cover. I think I eventually changed the rooftop to that, and then I put that print onto the actual flooring. So if you didn't realize this before, Millennium Falcon is going to be all on one level. I didn't want it to be too tall, so it's just a big walkthrough. And I don't even think that in real life Millennium Falcon is anything bigger than like one floor. Maybe there's a few hatches, but I didn't really want to get involved in trying to make hatches. I just wanted to get like the main area figured out. But if you wanted to do that, I'm going to put phases up as I talked about in the previous video, where you can kind of edit what you want to edit. So this video also has a lot of mistakes. One of them being I wanted to have the entrance as like the real entrance of the Falcon, and I realized that it's underneath the ship and I didn't raise the ship at all. So there's a lot of time spent trying to get them on these two pillars that I made. And I like save the game and I try to re-download it to pop it onto a new lot, and it just didn't work out. So eventually I just dig down into the hole, into the basement, and I kind of make it a landing pad, and then you can get in and out of that. So right now I think I'm picking out the side part, and I think I pick with like a metal or a weird, yeah, so it doesn't look the prettiest. I don't really know how to do the sides, but this is about as best as I can do. Now I'm fixing the kind of the rooftop of the cockpit, because I realized I was doing some of the designs and the tools in non-base game items, so I went back and started using our base game items so that it's downloadable for everyone. That's kind of my goal for this one, and it makes it a little bit harder because I don't have as much to choose from, but as I spoke about this in this first video, the third phase will have open use of the other expansion packs. So, but the first two will not. So the first two, like this one, phase 1 and phase 2, I'm going to keep it as accurate as I can, but also as available to everyone as possible. So it's not going to look the best, it's not going to be extremely correct, but it's going to be the best I can do with what I got. So I promise you, it's just going to be as good as it's going to get. So I've already talked a lot about that, so we're not going to tread on that too much. But this is kind of like the patchwork I did. It doesn't look the greatest. I put some horizontal or vertical lines in there, diagonal lines to kind of give it more just play. I'm not sure if I'll keep them. I was getting really tired at this point, to be honest, and I just wanted it to look more than just gray rooftop. So here I realized from looking at the different pictures that I needed to give it some more character, which is moving the entrance underneath instead of to the front, because I was going to make it in the front of the two, I don't know, tails? Horns? Whatever, on the Millennium Falcon. So I'm sharing it on, well, not sharing it, I'm putting it on my library in hopes that I can save it and then move them on top of what I already have. But the problem is I couldn't do that. So this is kind of just a long struggle of me putting them up so I can do that. But I eventually find a way, I promise. So, yeah. And you might be wondering also what lot I'm in. I picked the park lot. So that was the biggest that I could have work on, and I just demolished what was on there and put it on there. So if you do download this lot, you will have to delete the park to have this fit, because I don't think there's another lot type that's 50 by 50 square feet. So there's that. Okay, so I'm trying to upload this and it's just not working. I'm trying to move it upwards, because sometimes if you grab the room and then go upstairs with it, it will move upwards, but it's just, I guess it wasn't taking, and it was really difficult. So just trying to hack it a little bit, but it's just not gonna work. Eventually it does get there, but not now. So I don't know what else to talk about. This is kind of just fixing stuff. I did see the new movie, and it was really good. And I'm not gonna spoil anything because that's not very cool. But to put it as my friend said it, if you're a Star Wars fan, you'll like it, because there's a lot of references to the older movies, and it's just got that funness and the humor and everything that you could want from it. There's a little bit of some continuity issues that I think they could have put in there to kind of fix that, but they might also have some reasons later, so I'm not going to question it too much. But if you are not a Star Wars fan, then you probably won't like it. But if you're like brand new to the Star Wars franchise, then it'll be kind of a fun way to get involved, especially if you're younger and you didn't grow up with them. I grew up with the second trilogy, the Phantom Menace and all those, and I love them. I just like thought they were so cool, and my dad really liked them, so like that was a big bonding thing for us. And then I watched the older ones long after I watched the ones that I seen. So technically I've watched them in order, which is kind of crazy, but it was really mind-blowing for me to know that, to see, because I never understood prequels. Like, that was the first time of me grasping what prequels were, because I thought everything at that time, like when they made a second movie of related to the first movie, it was a sequel, so it like continued. So I thought like Luke Skywalker and Leia were like parents of Padme and Anakin, when it was complete opposite, because that's just how I was kind of taught by movies anyway. So it blew my mind that the movies from like the 80s and stuff were actually like maybe I shouldn't use that word, were the next part of what I saw. So that was crazy, and I think that's really cool to like kind of grow up that way. And I think it's going to be harder for people who are younger, who are just seeing this new one, and then figuring out like the other two trilogies, because that is a lot. There's like several generations now between the very first one and then the second trilogy and then this one. So that's a lot to grasp. So that'll be interesting to see how kids handle that. But trying to remember how I thought of the Phantom of the Menace. Phantom Menace. Phantom of the Menace? Phantom Menace? The Phantom Menace? Is that right? I remember that one being kind of scary, especially the guy who had horns, and it just escapes my brain what his Dark Lord name was, but he was freaky. And then I remember he scared me. And then, like, I don't know if I even should say anything because I don't want to spoil it, but when Obi-Wan, when he was like younger, and then Liam Neeson's character in that final fight scene, that was like super devastating to me. I cried, I feel like, because that was so crazy. And then I really liked the ending. As a girl, I guess, whatever, like I really liked seeing like Padme at the end in her like really pretty dress. And then Anakin was so cute. But not like cute, like, ooh, I had a crush on him. He's like, he was adorable. But yeah. I also think, and this is really kind of diving into the new movie, I'm not, and this doesn't really spoil anything either. I think that new girl, her name's Rey in the movie. When I like saw her on the poster and then I saw her in the trailer, she looks so much like young Anakin. Like, I actually Googled pictures, and if you compare them side by side, there's absolutely no way that was coincidence. They had to cast her like that because she looks so much like him. So I definitely think that she is related to the Skywalker family some way. I mean, personally, I think she's Luke's daughter because it just feels like that. That would be perfect if it was, but I don't know. They do leave it very wide open. You never know, and I mean, they don't flat out tell you anything, but to look at her face and then to look at the little boy's face is just crazy to me. And I don't know. You'll have to let me know what you guys think because I totally think that she is like related. But yeah, she did a great job in the movie. She's relatively unknown. What is her name? Like Daisy something. And I watched a video with her being interviewed today, and she has a much deeper voice than in the movie, I thought. I think she's British or something like that, maybe Australian. But in the movie, she's kind of got a slight, like, British accent a little bit, maybe there. I don't know my accents very well. But her voice seemed way, like, childlike more, I guess, younger. But in real life, she has way deeper voice than in the movie. So that kind of blew my mind a little bit. What's happening now? Let's get back to this. I've been fixing some errors that happened. So when I moved I'm going to call it a room, I guess the house, if anything, some of the things disappeared. And I had to kind of rebuild some of the rooms. But luckily, I knew where everything needed to go. So it wasn't terrible. It just was really frustrating. Obviously, this is not where you dock onto Millennium Falcon. I realized that after I had finished recording, so I'm going to move these stairs. So don't yell at me. I know that it's wrong. It needs to go on the other side, to the right, over here in the corner. I'm not sure if I'm going to fix the pillars, because I know the pillars are wrong too. I just needed something underneath the building. But I'm actually really happy with how it looks. Um, I did put some landscape, and that's just to put something there. Like, there's a little cactus right there. I probably will add more, but it's gonna stay like that for now. Just, I wanted some kind of aesthetic for the time being, because I hate just seeing plain stuff sitting there. And this is, I was having such troubles getting the shape back. It built a room over it, and I have the hardest time getting rid of it. So I had to mess with the camera angles and all that stuff, and it took a long time, and I was getting really frustrated because I had to go places that day, and it was crazy. So yeah, I mean, I'm really enjoying building this. I think I'm gonna do some more creative sims, and I might jump back into this. Oh, okay. The video's gonna end soon, so I gotta be really quick. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like if you think you like this build, and leave comments down below. I'd love to hear some of the things you think about when you think of Star Wars and like your experiences and stuff. That'd be great to read. And I will see you in the next video. Okay,